And it is Elliott Glover who will have the first break off of the tournament live on the arena table.
Oh, not the start he wanted, though. That's a disappointment. With the cut break, you often don't get the cue ball going anywhere near a pocket, and that's a tough in-off for him.
Yeah, you can see the wry sort of smile. There's nothing he does really wrong here. That's pretty tough.
It didn't feel like the best connection, but yeah, very tough to go in off like that. The cue ball was nowhere near.
Well, weirdly, for a break with not the best connection, especially off a cut break, it's actually not a bad looking split. There is a little bit of work to do. Shaun would obviously not mind reds. His issue is the one by the break line. And if you are thinking like I am, cool, that table looks crystal sharp, well, with good reason. All the tables here, players in Newcastle under Lyme have been reclothed and resurfaced, re-readied for this event this weekend. But as is pretty much expected, this arena table will be the quicker of the tables out there. Shaun has got plenty of experience on it. This will offer sort of no surprises to him.
And the one thing you get with the longer races as well, you get the opportunity to bed in. It doesn't feel quite as severe. You've got an opportunity just to feel your way in, and that also includes feeling your way into sort of the table and just getting a feel for out there. He's got himself in a position where these reds do go. Connection to the two either side of the 8 ball aren't brilliant. So he's going to have to just thread the needle through the gap of the yellows here. Looks like the natural should be fine. Oh, he's going up the table, so he's going to take the red. I thought the way he was lining it up, I thought he was going to go in the centre pocket, which was a surprise, but it makes the obvious sense of going this way round. Keep it as simple as possible. Really nice start this for Shaun. I know it's a long race, but he's off to a very smooth finish where he's pretty much in perfect position throughout. Well, goes front ball and huge power and great strike.
Yeah, it's always the question with Shaun, isn't it? Because he's got all the tools. You know, does he cut break? He's got one of the best ones of those, or does he front ball? And I think if you're Shaun Storry front ball breaking, you can't hit them much sweeter than that. We know he's a tinkerer, whether it be his break, whether it be his tools on his break. And, well, if he can rinse and repeat that for the rest of the tournament, he's going to be pretty pleased. Shaun does have a shot to play here. Two reds tied up at the top of the table. He's looking at coming underneath them off that top cushion. Let's say that no, he used the yellow off the top cushion instead.
Couldn't have gone worse.
That could not have gone any worse for him.
Yeah, two reds tied up in one shot. The problem with the shot he was playing was that he was moving both reds in playing it that way.
Does that red that's tied up with the yellow, does it double? Does it squeeze up to that top right corner pocket? Bottom right as we look. On the overhead.
It's tight. I think it does. On the main camera it looks like it will. On the overhead it looks like it doesn't. We'll find out.
Might be a couple of doubles. There's one. Yeah, he's not looking to break this out. It will be double-double. But will it be toil and trouble? This, you feel, is frame ball. Elliott Glover finally gets his first opportunity at open table, which he'll feel his first break deserved.
Straightened it too much. We weren't wondering whether it would go. It actually went comfortably.
Yeah, he almost missed it on the side that he didn't think he could miss it on.
And this is where we'll get to see how Elliott's feeling and how he's playing today. First opportunity. I think the yellows, the two obviously together, look awkward, but I think the right-hand one of the two can be potted, especially if you get slight angle on it. I think the closer to straight you go, the trickier it gets. So you could probably still just about make it from straight, but then you're going into the other yellow. I think he's okay. It's tight. He was on it on the previous angle that he had. He's come a little bit higher up the table. He's getting down quick, so it must go. Oh, he hit the wrong yellow. Oh, he's very lucky.
Isn't he just?
Very fortunate there. Just feathered the wrong yellow and still able to make it. Even if it sits over the pocket, he's still probably got control of the frame. Touch fortunate though. Pretty sure that's not where he was playing for. Yellow will pass the 8-ball. May not be the full pocket. I think he's got the centre of it. Yeah, there you go. Has got the centre of the pocket. Oh, it's another poor positional shot. Just okay. Interesting for me, he was absolutely ball and hand perfect on the yellow to top right, the second yellow to top right, and played down the table that looked like he was playing down to get on the yellow into the left centre pocket. But if he'd played, just one cushion on and off to leave himself straight in bottom left, it was frame over, and you would be moving the cue ball not very far and on line the whole way. Obviously playing down, let's just put him in this slight position where he's got to come up with half a shot here. And that half a shot now just becomes a very tricky opening 8-ball. This will tell us really how Elliott's feeling. This is a tough opening 8-ball for him.
Sharp. Johnson Coleman, Welsh internationals, made a quick start on Morgan McInnes. He's 2-0 up. Mark Fleming 2-0 up on Osama Maskini. We'll keep you up to date as best we can as the matches go long.
Yeah, number 1 seed's playing in this section of the draw. This is his quarter, the top one.
Yeah, Tom Cousins currently 1-1 against Darren Hope, qualifier. All that effort to qualify for the British Open, you draw Tom Cousins first round.
Yeah.
It is double elimination, but that is as tough a draw as you could possibly get if you're Darren Hope.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that little mini section of the draw. You referenced it, Gary Carr versus Callum Singleton, one of the matches of the round for me, and the winner of that plays the winner of Tom Cousins and Darren Hope. So if the number 1 seed does what he so often does and comes through, then the prize for the winner of that really tough first round match between Gary and Callum is the number 1 player. Reds is the call. Red by the 8-ball is horrible. How is he going to deal with that? I don't think he can make it off the yellow. Looks like it's too far up the table. And Where else is it going? You can't play into it. Too risky.
Yeah, you could easily lose the frame, let alone not develop the ball.
I'm really interested to see how he's going about this one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always just waiting.
Yeah.
I can't really call what Elliott's got in store for us.
Okay, so he's thinking this red, he can make off the yellow, then off the 8. Yeah, it didn't look on. It didn't look on for me.
I mean, even if it is on, it's a terrifically high tariff shot.
He's got to throw that. He's got to hit that firm. It's got to go wider and hit the 8 ball before the cushion. If the yellow doesn't pass the 8 ball, then he's still has some hope in the frame. If the yellow passes the 8 ball, then this should be a fairly comfortable counter for Shaun.
It doesn't look like it does.
No, it doesn't.
And moving it is tough. Oh, I think he was a little bit closer to that middle cluster than he was originally planning on being.
If his plan was to go into it from that angle, you're more likely to open up the reds than you are the yellow, because the looks like the 8 ball would go in front of the yellow. It wouldn't go in, but it would pop open the reds. So yeah, this is tough. I think Shaun's probably got control if he just can play a safety here. If he can, it's tough from where he is though.
I think it has to be the shot.
He wanted to play the safety off the yellow by the 8 ball, so he wanted to just feather off it and hide the cue ball behind that yellow essentially, and the yellow pops into the 8 ball and the 8 ball won't go in because it's all delicate played, but he was just too far away and on the wrong angle to be able to play it.
To be honest, I think the shot he's tried to play is a pretty good one. You know, snooker full ball, the ball down the table, and it means Elliott has to try and hit that, but Shaun's left it on, which is a little bit sloppy. Because Elliott can go, but he's hit the in off, which is unforgivable. That's a huge let off. Oh, that is cardinal sin territory for Elliott. Clever that. This is clever.
Oh wow, what's happened there? He's got that all wrong. I think he's hit this twice. Oh, it's a poor one. Yeah, it's a poor one. The cue ball stops essentially, and on his follow through, he just hits it again.
Yeah.
And this,
look at the result though.
Yeah.
It's not exactly bad for him.
Yeah, how on earth does Elliott win the frame from here?
It's one of those things where it's absolutely not a deliberate foul, but Shaun has hugely benefited from fouling.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one from Elliott. He had no shot. It was so tough, but to try and open that up, not pot it and be on it was, well, kind of 1 in 100, 1 in 1,000 shot.
Can you find a line to that 8 ball anywhere? Be a huge shot if you can make it.
Well, the gap only comes from across the side of the table, and I don't think you can get the gap on the 2 cushions here. Yeah, I don't think that gap's on from that angle. The yellow that was in the middle of the table was the line he had to come in from, and he can't get there for even going off multiple cushions because of that yellow. So amazing the carnage that gets caused when an 8 ball goes over a pocket from the break.
Yeah, completely. Even in the early going, and even though it is 1-1, admittedly about to be 2-1. Fairly inauspicious start for both players in a way. I think Shaun will be the happier. But I think maybe that's a case of potentially just saying to Elliott there, you know, early stage of the match, do you have to go for it? Quah. I tell you what, if this Shaun Storry break lingers, he's going to be a threat in the tournament. That's how good it is. I mean, the first two that he's hit this morning have been absolutely pristine.
Yeah, they've both been brilliant. I know he didn't make the most of the first one. He obviously tried to open it up and knock 2 balls safe in doing so, but if you keep hitting them that good, you're going to get a lot of chances, and a player at Shaun's level getting a lot of chances is dangerous. Oh, where's the yellow going? Oh, it's going to pull up.
Red ball's in play.
Touch thin on this red now to the centre pocket. Don't think he's got any other options. Cue ball's obviously flying into the yellow. Can he control that cannon and hold himself? Yeah, he'll take that. That's okay. Obviously, the one on the right-hand side does need to be dealt with. It's guarded by the yellow. Hard to get on it. It has the perfect angle to play into it. Better options to play into the yellow if you can, which you can from the one bottom left. Bottom cushion, a little bit aside, and target that yellow. Full ball would be perfect. Didn't want the red. It's not the end of the world though. It's come out okay. Tricky shot coming up now, but he has a shot. Brilliant shot.
Very nice. And he was telling us how he's been going to practice with his old mate Tom Cousins and taking a fair share of shellackings, and it's a tough one for the motivation. Just sit there and watch TC break a dish however many times in a row, but Shaun is absolutely good enough to give him a game, and it's just about finding that level so he can. At least it looks like he's been taking some breaking tips.
Yeah, I think one of the things though, yes, you're practicing against arguably the best player in the world, and you're going to take some beatings, but you're going to learn a lot from that. But you're also going to take a lot of confidence when you get your wins, and he will get his wins in those sessions. But I think you've got to vary it up and play a variety of different people, and some players like the solo practice as well.
Yellow ball's in play.
Top of the morning to Ultimate Pool referee Trish Murphy, who's just messaged me to say that she's watching along in the office at Stamford Q's, enjoying the coverage, I'm sure. It's a miss coming in here from Elliott Glover. Wasn't expecting this.
It was a poor positional shot that put him in trouble straight away. That was a really good chance. Every ball went, apart from maybe the 8 ball, but the 8 ball, you had a way to break it out, or it's in a perfect position for a double. So that was a really good chance. He has been a touch fortunate. The yellow, if it stops in the middle of the top cushion, it's a really good chance for Shaun to counter. Obviously he has a ball to deal with straight away.
Ah, the bullet in the house. Good to see Early Bale with us. He's got a match against Jack Dady coming up at 11:30. Hope I'm saying that name right. Apologies, Jack, if I'm not. And next match up on deck, by the way, for you in the 11:30 round is Joe O'Connor. He's coming up against Matthew Challen. As that little flick worked for Shaun. He wanted to catch it thicker, and it moves the red more and moves the cue ball less, and he's on it comfortably to the top right. As it is, he might not be on anything. I think he can just about sneak through to the one over the left middle if needed, but he won't particularly want to.
Oh, now he's looking at maybe trying to make it. It looks awkward.
Yeah, it was.
Not gone to plan. Doesn't matter if it's touching the 8 ball. Doesn't change things. Still got to hit a yellow and hit a cushion. Just wondering if the loss of turn would work, but I think you couldn't play it without leaving a red on. So just going to continue to attack. I think the percentage play probably still is the loss of turn. The 8 ball doesn't go, although it's in a position to double. So I think if you play it and you leave the red on, you probably feel like you're going to lose the frame 9 times out of 10 anyway. So then, you know, when you start thinking about it like that, is it worth going all out, trying to find something? He has gone the loss of turn, but he's trying to put the yellow on top of the red at the same time, and that is an excellent shot. That really is my best shot of the match for me, right there. He's been a touch unfortunate if he's got a 3-ball plant available to him, which I think he has. The yellow-red are set as a plant. Tiny gap so you could squeeze it onto the jaw, but I think he can play it straight away, and he can probably break out the 8 ball at the same time if he wants to. Of course, the 8 ball will double. In the end, Shaun's just decided not worth it.
Still tough on yellows.
Yeah.
Still very tough on yellows.
He's okay with that little feather. I'm not sure it's quite how he played it, but all he has to do here is drop the red in and then back double the 8 ball. He's looking to find the perfect spot for him in terms of making it as makeable as possible, but you know, the yellows make it look trickier, but in truth it's an 8 ball in about as perfect position for a double as you could ever have.
And in she rolls. Yeah, she's going to make one. 100% record so far for Shaun Storry off his own break. Now, if I am going to be hypercritical and try and stop me, that one is the worst one he's hit. A little bit close to that corner pocket, but you're absolutely, I mean, you're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the worst you're going to hit the break, you'd be happy. I mean, look at the layout he's got. It's very much in his capabilities, although he'll be disappointed with that opening shot. Just left himself a little sticky on the next ball. Does the one by the red go bottom left? That would be the easiest recovery to get back in line. You know, he could just drop the one in bottom right on the cushion, then he's got left centre, so actually he's better than I thought he was. I thought the positional side of that shot was going to be tricky, but Shaun's just trying to work out the full finish. And I think drop the one in bottom right on the cushion, and then you're away.
Oh, miss. Never looked comfortable on that one, did he?
Very surprised by that. So Shaun. I think in the end he just overthought things maybe. He just took his time, called his extension. In the end he was a little rushed on the actual execution of the shot. Big visit to the table in the context of the match. I know it's a long, long way to go, race to 10 here, but things have not really gone Elliott's way over the last few frames. And when you're playing good players, when you're playing great players, you need to punish errors. Otherwise they can start to feel very relaxed out there. And that's obviously an error from Shaun that needs to be punished. Not sure if he can drop this in the right centre and play the one bottom right without disturbing the yellow, which makes then getting onto the next ball at the top of the table tricky. So may have to leave that red to bottom right as his last ball, and then obviously has to just be careful onto the 8 ball into the centre. If he's straight enough to screw this back, he might have to play it off the yellow and come up the table, then he'll play it now though. But if he's flicking the yellow at all, he might not get any position. And he was able to play it clean. He's actually overdone the positional shot by, well, a huge margin. Wanted to be short of the break line and have a choice of 2. That's very tricky into that pocket from there. Not sure he's left Shaun an open pot. Maybe the one top of the break line will go in the corner. It's not a full pocket. Can he get to the one over the pocket? I think he can actually. Oh, he can. He's still tempted by the double, but he does have this one over the pocket. Holds up his hand, is not where he tried to get to, but it's okay. The one top of the triangle area, the top of the line now, does go comfortably. Oh, and he's on the straighter one as well, so he's in actual perfect position.
by hook or by crook, Shaun Storry is going to fly here into a 5-1 lead. And he's at base camp in this race to 10.
Dry, but there's not much on, if anything. I said after the opening frame where Shaun made that reverse clearance that Elliott will get enough chances in this match. It's, you know, it takes some performance not to get the chances you need. He just hasn't made the most of the table time he's had. He could be a... Oh, that's inventive.
Yeah.
Very inventive. Has he played it? Yeah, you have to say it probably is.
I mean, if it is...
That's brilliant.
That's our shot of the tournament so far. Very early days, but I mean, that's spectacular.
Yeah, it's opened up the yellow to left centre as well. It's a very, very clever shot. And that's the scoreboard pressure, you know, whether he would have executed that or come up with that, or even decided to play that if it was 3-3. That's or if it was, you know, late on in the match and it was tight. But that's the freedom of being 5-1 up and the freedom of being a long race as well allows you to maybe push the boat out. And I'm not saying he wouldn't have played it, but that was super high tariff and high risk, because if you don't make that, you're thinking, well, I've opened all the balls up here and Elliott's going to have a chance. And that's where also for me part of the sort of thinking is that with top players, has Elliott shown Shaun enough in the match to so far to sort of show him that he's going to make those finishes? And, you know, Shaun probably in that one shot shows how relaxed he is and how comfortable he's feeling out there.
Well, if you can't be relaxed at 5-1 up, when can you be? Sort of free flow and play your shots.
Yeah, but as I was saying, I don't think it's just the scoreline. I think it's also the fact that Elliott's had chances he's not taken. Shaun's probably feeling right now that, you know, Elliott's not at his best, and oh, that's well judged. We didn't quite see that on the camera shot there, but that cue ball rattled in the jaws. And
So Joe O'Connor and Matthew Challen will be our next game on live here on Ultimate Pool TV. Shaun Storry continues to thump that break, but it is his first dry break of the day. He was probably due one, just because no one can break perfect.
yeah, and it looks an awkward layout, but it's actually very doable, this one, for Elliott. The 3-ball plant to the top of the table is there for him. It deals with the one on the cushion and the one that's blocked by the yellow. So once that shot's played, as long as the yellow doesn't tie up another red, it should be wide open for a reverse clearance. It's okay, not perfect. Could have done with the red sort of sitting more in the open, nearer the pocket. It's gone to a slightly tricky position, and he's gone a little bit too far up the table with the cue ball, if we're being critical.
Which we are.
Straight in, top left would have been perfect, could have topped through. Just short of straight left centre again, because he wants to get above the break line, and he doesn't have an angle to do that off either ball. That's excellent. That's an excellent positional shot. Found the gap he was looking for, and he's left himself just the right side of straight. Just has to force it a touch, but you can do that on these tables. Even now, though, because those two have gone where they've gone, and you couldn't get there off the previous shot, it means you have to take these two back to back, and that is actually a little bit tricky.
He's okay.
Yeah, he'll take that.
He's got a shot to play, but he's okay.
I think the dead weight works. Dead weight leaves him on the 8 ball. If he has to go and use the bottom cushion, there's a bit more work in this. He stuns it in.
Oh, that was the danger, though. He almost... I mean, you'll correct me if I'm wrong. It almost looked like he decelerated on that a little bit. Just didn't quite dig into it enough.
It's an edgy one, though. I know what you're saying, but it's such an edgy one because you're trying to stun it, but you want it to kill and stop quickly.
Yeah.
It's not one where you can stun and really punch through it.
I just think with a little bit more into that, and you nailed on to hit the side cushion rather than flirt with the middle pocket, and you'll have a shot.
Yeah, I know what you say. If you really bite into it, then and use the side cushion, whereas he was trying to hold it in the middle of the table and not go to the cushion at all.
That, to me at least, looked like the sort of the safest shot. Do you know what I mean? Rather than necessarily playing around with pace control and worrying about, you know, being blocked off by balls potentially.
I was wondering whether the natural line was to the right-hand side of the bottom corner pocket, and therefore you could play that 2 cushions up for the 8 ball. It was really tough just to drop it in and hold absolutely dead weight, but that shot looked like it might just about be available as well. It's just not quite been on it as Elliott in this match. Just the back end of a few finishes that he's had, the chances he's had, have just got awkward, and you know, balance of chances here. Certainly, the scoreline shouldn't be 6-1.
Yeah,
staring
7-1. Yeah,
Elliott's had enough to be level in this match comfortably. Oh, that's a very poor one from Shaun.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you want to be somewhere near the left centre pocket, and he's below
anywhere
the yellow.
near where he is. Yeah, that's a crazy one.
I mean, he's trying to get below the centre pocket, so he's straighter in on it, but you edge higher on it because you still have a shot. This will cut, I think. It is thin, and his cue ball is doing some mileage.
What a recovery shot. What a recovery shot. Very good.
Wow, that's incredible.
Was not expecting that, however.
That really was incredible. I mean, he was a touch awkward on it, but I mean, the shot before was so good. Really surprised to see the missed 8 ball, and obviously goes without saying that this has to go for Elliott Glover, doesn't it? You can't let Shaun off the hook for a missed 8 ball like that.
And he doesn't. Just. The layout. One thing you would say for Elliott's breaks is that he's not really had a sort of a really nice layout. Do you know what I mean? To sort of just get the cue on going, get into the match.
I think that's part of the reason why he's changed to the front ball here is to try and change things up. But once again, he's not been blessed with a particularly good chance. I think it's actually probably more doable than it looks on reds. Those 4 reds at the top can be worked out, and he does have a starter. So actually, I think reds are... I think if you had the chance, you know, if you were offered this before you broke, I think you'd take it. Comes down to, can you work it out? The 2 reds are obviously a plant. The yellow's kind of in the way for it, but you can bump that yellow out the way from the 2 reds to the left-hand side of it, which I think both go independently of each other. So the one on the top cushion definitely goes. And I think he's on that one. And the reason I like that one rather than the other one is that if he can come off the top cushion and just punch into the yellow, and he only has to turn the yellow a turn forward down the table, and And then it's all there for him. He'll be on a red top left and the plant top right. Oh, he actually played that off the red, and well, he needs to be on this red to left centre. If he's not, he's on nothing.
Extension called.
Shaun's worked these very well.
How good has his break been in this match? Yeah, deserved. What would have been quite funny, and even funnier, is if he'd have made the 8-ball here. Believe I'm right in saying here, so if the 8-ball had gone in and it had just been the 8-ball, it would have been Elliott Glover's shot at the table too.
Yeah, because all 15 balls would be on the table because the 8-ball comes back up.
Oh, that's such a brutal first shot to have to play. To have only had that to go at is pretty rough after a dry break in an invitation at the table. Shaun's not got anything particularly kind, but he'll take it. Yeah, not much on at all on yellows. It's a full table length plant to take on, not easy. Shaun's got a very thin clip if he's taking the one to the top. Plays it well. A little bit thicker than I initially thought.
Yellow balls in play.
Another smooth finish from Shaun. Hasn't let that missed 8 ball kind of affect him in any way. Mentally very strong.
So Shaun Storry, 2 away. Elliott Glover rips that one. And a good time for him to get his best break of the match. Better late than never.
Yellow ball's in play.
Eight-2 behind. I just wonder whether he can free himself up a little bit here and just actually, sometimes you just can get to that point where you think you're going to lose the match anyway, free up completely and everything that's gone before. I mean, you have to remember also it's a double elimination event, and you feel if he finds any way of taking a positive out of this, it can only help him, even if he ultimately goes on to still lose the match. Just got to cue this one straight. One of those that can be missed when it never should be, but yeah, going across the cushion, he's done well. Yeah, very impressive for Elliott. Everything that's gone before, held himself together on that one. Shaun will be very comfortable, but there is one I'm getting at, is there's time for Elliott, but he needs Shaun to go off the boil as well. Shaun changes the break once more, goes across to the left-hand side this time. He does chop and change more than any other player.
Yeah, the Claudio Ranieri of breaking, because he's the tinker man.
Shake of the head though, it's an excellent break. The result is not great, doesn't have an opener. Wants a yellow, hasn't got one. Doesn't have a red either.
Yeah, I like that. It's clever. It's a horrible spot for Elliott to be in now. Absolutely horrible.
Extension called. Yellow ball's in play.
Not sure he quite stopped it as much as he needed to there. Not on the yellow to right centre. Obviously does have one to left centre, awkward angle. The yellow now nearest the left centre pocket is tied up by the 8 ball. Oh, he might be able to deal with that here. Can get through.
Yeah, that's nice.
If he's on this to left centre, he's been very fortunate. Doesn't look like it. Maybe he can just turn it in. Don't believe that's how he played it.
Nice outcome though, if you can get it.
Yeah, if he can just drop this in. Problem is, I think if he drops it in, he could snooker himself. Yeah. I believe it, previous shot, he must have been playing the cannon on the 8 ball there. Obviously, that could have sent the 8 ball safe, but got to try and get on the yellow and then open up the 8 ball. Maybe there's more room than it looks, and he feels he can pot it from low. If that is the case, then he wouldn't have been playing the cannon, and he would have been using the red just to hold the cue ball. Yeah, so there is more room.
Yeah, similar shot coming, but he's in lovely shape. Well, Elliott Glover's found his break. The last two have been bangers.
Oh, if he's not on this red to top right, he's been very unfortunate. I think he is. I think he's okay. You see Shaun there acknowledging the break as well. You just know, you hear the sound, and it's the quality of that strike and the explosion. It sounds different when you get it right. By far and away, Elliott's best break of the match. Just can't quite get right. First shot went a smidge too far this time. He's just got himself awkward again. That's an excellent shot.
Extension called.
Lovely, really nicely controlled.
He's still going to have to hit this well to get up onto the 8 ball. He's just that touch straight on it. You really want to force this to try and get up. If you top it, you go towards the 8 ball, which is not what you want. You're going to really dig in it and punch it. Yeah, just hard. Just a hard shot. It's one of those that it's hard to get a good outcome on.
And that may be the last shot he plays in this match.
Extension called.
Not sure that the yellow passes the red at the bottom of the table. Interesting to see how Shaun goes about this. Does he play safe? Does he find a way to get to the left-hand side of that yellow? It might squeeze in. It might be one of those deceptive ones that does just squeeze in, but well, the fact he's looking down the left-hand side tells me that it definitely doesn't then. Wasn't a good angle for him at the top of the table, and now he's awkward. He can't get to where he needs to, as in bottom left-hand corner of the table from here. Well, the natural isn't. Can he get to the bottom one of these two, and then he can come across the table? Oh, I think he can. Not far enough down the table, and he's too straight in or just off straight the wrong way on the yellow to right centre.
Is this a point where you try and draw back?
I think he has to.
I think if he gets the cue ball anywhere on the left side rail, I don't think Elliott can do much with that red.
I think anywhere really. I don't think there's a gap between the 8 ball and the yellow, so I think he could leave it near the top right hand corner pocket and be fine. It's an easy hit for Elliott, of course, but that will just open up the pocket. Yeah, no attempt to pot that, of course. And he'll actually be annoyed that the yellow's gone so close to the cushion.
Yeah, it's a slightly sloppy shot, but he was under a little bit of shot clock pressure, so we'll let him off. Does Shaun go for it?
I don't know if he needs to. If he feels he can get onto the yellow on the cushion nicely.
Bad yellow, can't he?
Yeah. That shot for Elliott wasn't really going to do anything. That's the problem. He can still only get back in this frame with a mistake from Shaun Storry. That's not even a holding shot, if you like. Was he better off trying to be... Oh, how good's that pot? Into the centre. Amazing. Obviously, it's a free shot for Shaun, but yeah, you have to say, would it be better for Elliott just to give the red a ride, or do something different? Because just doing what he did, even if Shaun had to play safe off it, it was still going to leave him as a massive second favourite.
So the first winner on the TV table in the 2024 Ultimate Pool British Open is Autopilot. Shaun Storry gets the victory over Elliott Glover. Fairly comfortable on the scoreline, at least. Elliott Glover very much in the mix when it came to the frames, but scoreboard pressure told in the end, and Shaun Storry gets over the line.